Welcome to the Lads AM podcast, a show for those late night ramblings you only get when the rest of the world is asleep. This show is available in both podcast and Let's Play form. Check out our social media to find out how to listen the way you want to. Tonight, we are playing Bro, Georgia's not even here. How are we playing the Greek map without Georgia?
Dude, I don't know, but I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a hairy wizard.
You are a wizard, Harry.
A wizard?
What is
These homies.
This and my girl. Guys, I found a shortcut, and by that I mean I went off the map. Yo, Mario Kart. Don't you guys? Hey guys, it's funny. Matt's driving because he can't do that. Haha.
So Dustin, which Mario Kart character do you think is most likely to get a DUI?
Wario.
Isn't
That's
that
the exact same person.
Yeah,
Fanning
Fanning said the same thing. Fun fact, he ranked incredibly low on the list.
That's crazy.
Well, hang on. So he was number 40 out of 53, but the logic was they said Wario could down 30 drinks and his BAC would still only be 0.06.
Yeah, he has too high of a constitution to get drunk.
Dude,
I guess I can accept that.
Dude, my guess was Dry Bones, and he got number 6. I was really happy with that guess.
Which I think is ridiculous, because how does Dry Bone... He doesn't have... Well, I guess he doesn't have a liver? So there's nothing to filter the alcohol, but he also doesn't have a... How did he get his
doesn't have blood?
Yeah, how does he get his blood alcohol? How do they...
Dry Bones should be at the bottom.
That's why when I said Dry Bones, I was like, it's either going to be stupid low or stupid high. That being said, number 1 was an outrage. So number 1 was Baby Peach.
What?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
She's a baby.
Meanwhile, every other baby character was like super low.
The highest, the least likely to get a DUI was Baby Rosalina.
Okay,
Right.
now they're just.
And I think they were quite literally like, she's a baby, she shouldn't be drinking. And then it's like Baby Peach, and they're just like,
oh my god, she's a baby.
She's hammered already. Who's letting her drive?
She just hit another dog. It was a hard drive.
Yeah, that's fair. That you expect that from hard drive.
Yeah, it wasn't like I want to see like some like really like overly invested Nintendo nerd make that list.
Right.
Like some actually push up glasses type stuff.
Actually, yeah.
Actually, Dry Bones doesn't have blood, so he actually can't have a blood alcohol level. Also, It's in the name Boy Scouts.
So
also, it's in the name Boy Scout. What?
I felt like I was doing Ben Shapiro there, so I felt like I had to.
Oh, okay. All right. Daisy Cruiser. All right. We're all on track.
Something I wanted to bring up last week.
Yeah?
Just didn't get a chance to bring it up. The last episode of the Insomniac anime happened.
Oh, we did mention that.
Yeah.
We did mention it.
Insomniac anime?
The one where we were like, the girl's definitely gonna die.
Oh, you did mention that, yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened?
You watched it, right, Matt?
I did watch it.
Okay. Spoiler, she doesn't die.
Yeah. It's
did
actually real.
Wasn't I saying watch the other guy's gonna die? Did the other guy die?
No.
It was a happy ending.
They just kind of got...
Dude,
they
you
just
can't have a
kinda
happy... Who thought they could put a happy ending in anime?
I mean, yeah. They don't always have to die. I just was sure they were going to. Honestly, it was a bigger shock that they didn't.
It was.
Yeah.
And I was
really, I don't know if you had the same feeling, Matt, but I feel like there was a point where I was like, oh, here it is. This is where she's going to die. Because the place where they wanted to take the final picture, there was like a bunch of pillars. The way that the camera angle kept cutting on her, it really looked like she was about to like bump into one of the pillars and have it fall on her or something. I was like, oh, don't tell me that's how she goes.
I did kind of have a sense like the whole time when I felt like I was...
Most disappointing TV death since Cersei.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Well, that was disappointing for a different reason.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't disappointed. Fuck Cersei.
Well, I think there are people disappointed because it was a very lackluster death.
Yeah,
I was
she
more-
died like happy.
I wouldn't even say happy, but like
She
She
died.
was
Died in
like-
her
it was a
lover's
quick-
brother's arms.
yeah, it was
She-
quick. She didn't suffer.
She literally died the way that like DMs that are angry with their game and end the session
Mhm.
and end the whole campaign in rage. Like rocks fall, everyone dies.
Yeah.
That's how she died. I was more upset about Jaime Lannister having the comeback arc and then being like, "Nah, I'm gonna keep fucking my sister."
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
That was more I
was
was upset.
That's a good comeback arc, and then
Yeah,
not
that's
fun.
that's a bit. I'm less upset. I'm more upset about that than whatever fucking Targaryen. Like she went crazy and killed everyone. That's insane. Don't really care. That's fine. I'm upset about my boy Jamie.
fair.
But I'm still talking about it. And when Game of Thrones end?
A couple years ago.
Damn. You hate to see it.
You
You
think the
hate to
girl
see it.
not dying kind of ruined the show, Matt?
No.
Or
I don't
made a
think
bit of a
so.
disappointment?
No, I don't think so. I think they suffered enough in their lives.
I just think it's
Suffered
weird to
enough.
have the sick girl constantly every week talk about how
How
She might
sick
die.
she is. Yeah.
yeah.
No, you do definitely have a point there.
Yeah. It's kind of a Chekhov's cancer patient situation.
Chekhov's cancer patient. Oh my god. If that's not the title of this episode,
Chekhov.
god damn.
I don't look, we barely get traction at all. I don't want YouTube shutting it down because I put cancer in the title.
Dude. That's funny though.
Listen, Sword Art Online know what they were doing. They had a girl with AIDS. She died.
She
And
did.
it's like the best arc in the whole show.
AIDS girl's best girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. No, actually, I think it would have been more impactful if it was Death Gun that died.
Death Gun died.
To a disease, not
Not
Dude,
from a gun or lightsabers or whatever they had.
well, yeah, whatever that anime was. Oh, how do I? Oh, okay.
Are you not driving? The fuck? Y'all good, man?
No, I was wondering why my steering's been so weird this whole time. I had
Did you
tilt
have the
controls
auto
on.
steering on?
No, I had tilt controls on. Even worse.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I was
Dude, I'm
wondering
using
why
tilt controls.
I was
Nice.
unironically using tilt controls because
Nice.
I was like, why does this feel so weird? And then I was like, no. And then I started tilting my thing, and then Rosalina also starts tilting her wheel the same way. Like that's not okay.
That's funny.
Unironically using tilt controls.
So,
Yeah.
Dustin,
Yes.
I did it.
You did it?
I got Matt to start playing Danganronpa.
Nice. Were you watching or are you just playing it on his own?
Nah, I've been watching him play.
No, I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him.
Yeah, it's our new two-person thing.
Yeah, we have a thing now, or we do together, and no one else. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
cool.
Similar to
Yeah.
how me and you, Dustin, will bang in the car.
Hmm,
Yeah.
true. Again, was not invited, so I mean, what are you gonna like? What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah,
First-
it's not gay if it's a three-way, which is, I mean, it's clearly gay, so.
and that is what the Lonely Island did say that, and
Yeah.
who's gonna go against them? I think Andy Sam-
Exactly.
Yeah, Sandberg is he's the definitive vote on that. That's who I want to be.
It's been
president.
funny, though, because already Matt's made a couple of predictions that he's found to be correct.
Dude. I've gotten some good ones.
What do you think is the craziest one you got so far?
I predicted the first person who was gonna die, but that was more just
That
like
was kind of obvious.
that was more of just an understanding of how like writing
Anime
works
stuff works and writing works, yeah.
and being like this character is too this character they're forcing me to have an emotional connection with this character right now.
Mm-hmm.
Something significant has to happen,
Yeah.
like because they're not just gonna throw the character away.
Mhm.
Like they've dedicated too much time. Something's gonna happen. Uh,
Like every character in season 1 of Attack on Titan,
exactly.
including Eren.
Including Aaron.
I liked how you went to the kitchen.
shit.
You saw the knives. You were like, "Oh, we should grab one of these knives." And then immediately the first murder is literally by basically the exact knife you were like, "We should grab
Yeah.
that one."
No, because this comes from my experience working in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, well, obviously you don't use the biggest knife, because what I have found is that when you use the biggest knife that you have, I accidentally cut myself more on the bottom part of the knife than like the top part, because I don't expect it and it's like really far out. It's weird. So I have this weird. I'm like, oh well, and then Rob was like, all right, what knife you taking? And I'm like, well, obviously not the biggest one, because I have this weird niche thing from me working in
For
a kitchen.
big knives.
And then one of the knives in the kitchen is missing. I immediately recognize it as a knife from the kitchen because I spent a lot of time thinking about the knives from the kitchen.
And
And
then
then-
quite literally the second largest.
And I'm like, that's the one I would have taken to defend myself. So obviously I should be. I can't kill people in the game.
I've never seen someone so quick to be like, "All right, I want to murder you."
Yeah. So the bear in Dragon Romper, says like, yeah, you gotta kill if you want to get out. So my immediate thought is, okay, so there's 15 of us. That means 7 of us could kill 7 people, 1 person each, and then that's at least like kind of
7
half
of us get
people.
away.
That's as close to that's like I'm trying to maximize how many people get out of it.
Right.
Turns out there's gameplay rules that was not explained to me that negate that, which I think is kind of insane.
Weird.
I was kind of strategizing how to maximize living, but then they're like, no, there's actually like rules, and we're gonna have a whole court case, which apparently takes like an hour.
Oh, long.
Which Rob also did not tell me, as I started it at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, so he starts this case at like 1:15 a.m. and I'm in my mind, I'm like, oh, he just wants to start a little bit of it. And then after like 5 minutes, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, does Matt think he's going to be able to get through the whole thing tonight? I should warn him.
It's gonna be maybe like 15 minutes max. Like
I don't even think we were 15 minutes under it.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't gonna last that long.
No,
okay, I'm like, damn, if I wanted this, I would have just played Ace Attorney. Like, why am I? They baked in Ace Attorney into this game. I feel like I'm playing two visual novels at once. No, but I'm excited to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm trying to maximize how many people live, and I'm picking which ones are dying.
Yeah.
I picked my wife, and I picked my wife.
Dude,
if my wife dies.
He has a wife, a backup wife. Unfortunately, his backup wife was killed.
My backup wife did die.
Oh no.
So fourth backup wife got moved up to third backup wife. I also have backup husband. I also have a backup husband.
Oh yeah, he has backup husband Lucio from Overwatch. Yeah.
He's literally just a character with big hair, and I called him Lucio.
Okay.
Also, he's also apparently, from what I've learned by playing the game, he's a total sham in what he's supposed to be good at, and I think that's based.
To give context, Dustin, this character is the ultimate clairvoyant, so he's like a fortune teller.
Yeah.
And immediately upon learning that, one of the first things Matt says is, "What? And you didn't foresee that we were going to be in this situation?"
Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't
for the
seeing
guy
this.
literally later on in the game to be like, "Yeah, I'm one of the best fortune tellers out there. Let me read you your fortune. I'm correct about 20% of the time."
Correct, 20%. I guess that would make him the best clairvoyant. Yeah.
Yo, actually,
It's
I never thought
most clairvoyants are 0%.
You're right, actually. I never thought about it that way. That is actually probably an impressive stat.
To which he then says our fortune is that the mother of our children will be the same mother as the mother of his children. And our character's just like, oh, fuck no, no.
And I'm like, but you better leave Swimming Girl alone. Because she's the ultimate swimmer. She's like Michael Phelps, but anime girl. She's anime girl Michael Phelps.
Freakishly long arms.
No, just
Dang.
Not quite.
No, just kind of normal.
She did say that she likes to stand naked on her balcony, though.
Yeah, there's some very anime things in this. And I'm like, yeah, this is anime. And like, I do kind of have to remember that. I have to try to not be a degenerate. So, as much of a degenerate.
There's I won't spoil too much, Matt. There's a character in the second game who is as degenerate as you can possibly get. To the point where, like, most of the community hates him, but I love him.
Like super weeb otaku type beat?
No, like, he tried to trick a naive girl into sucking his dick by saying there was poison in it.
Nice. What a Chad move right there.
Oh my god. No, for some reason, when you said that, I was thinking about the clip of the person from Survivor that's like, I got stung by a jellyfish, you need to pee on it.
Yeah.
But the roles being reversed. You're like, no, there's poison in my dick. You gotta suck out the poison. No, I'm gonna die if you don't suck out the poison.
Yeah, so like most people don't like that character. I think it's just kind of funny.
I mean, that is just anime.
I will also say that the character is also bi and hits on both the guys and the girls, so like...
Oh, awesome. He especially harasses everybody.
Yeah, you can't even
That's
say
great.
He's sexist, because he really isn't. Like,
no.
He's just a general scumbag.
At one point, they're at a beach.
He's just a shitty human being.
At one point, they're at a beach. He pulls out suntan lotion and says, "Ladies, would anyone like me to rub some suntan lotion on them?" And then, like, the most ripped guy there is like, "Oh, I would love it if you would do that with me." And he just looks at him as like, "A hunky man? Hey, I swing both ways. Sure, let's have some fun."
Hey, any ladies want me to rub suntan lotion on them? They all say no. Hey, any fellas want to rub suntan lotion on me? He's just playing both. Yeah, he's playing both sides. He's good. He's got the odds. Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, not good
like
for
that
him. Apparently, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's to a funny degree, in my opinion. It's one of those kinds of things where it's like, character in fiction, oh, I think it's hilarious. If it was someone in real life, they would be horrible.
True.
Like, you would never want, it's not someone you would want to know in real life, but.
Well, I guess I would. No, I would beat up Mineta if they were. No, I don't like Mineta.
Yeah, you just don't like Mineta.
I just don't like Mineta.
I find it funny when he's like really horny and he starts saying plus ultra. And that's the only thing I ever hear him say plus
Mineta?
ultra.
What's that from?
Mineta is a character from My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Who is the stereotypical horny character.
Oh, okay.
But he's like really gross about it.
Yeah.
And has no redeeming qualities.
Oh.
But there's also
the fact that he says plus ultra every time.
There is a Danganronpa character like that as well.
He's
in the third game. Who's just like obnoxiously horny.
Yeah.
Although in the case of Danganronpa, it's a girl.
Him saying plus ultra when typically that means like them saying plus how ultra is the equivalent of Ash turning his hat around. To put it in context.
It's like pushing yourself to the limit.
We're going in super serious mode.
Yeah, but he uses it just for any time that
to sneak on girls in the shower.
Yeah,
that's when he uses it.
He got girls in the shower.
No, when he's spying.
Yeah, spying is
spying on girls in the shower. Cool.
And the girl in the shower.
He has to climb a really tall wall because it's an onsen. He's going, I have to do it. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
It's really funny. That's his one redeeming quality to me.
Speaking of Ash, so now I watch Pokemon anime every week.
Or
Yes.
So we just started the Unova League, the Gen 5 League,
yeah.
and I am already annoyed.
Annoyed?
Yeah, so Gen 5 anime, there's a decent number of rivals of Ash. There's like 5 or so. But like the first one that you're introduced to, his name is Trip. Yeah, basically, you know Paul from the Sinnoh anime?
Yeah.
Imagine Paul, but like way more tame. Like
Oh.
he's not nearly as much of a dick, but he's
He's
like
lame.
a kind of dick.
So he can't commit to the bit.
I don't know. I kind of liked him, but he's fine. He wears an orange hoodie, which I like.
Hmm.
But so they get to the league, right?
Yeah.
First round, they put Ash against Trip. Right off the bat. 1v1. I'm like, dude, we've been doing battles with Trip. This is like his 6th battle on Trip. Ash has not won against Trip yet. And you're only going to have him do a one-on-one? Like, that should have been like the quarterfinal match. Or like top 16.
Do you mean one-on-one, like one Pokemon trainer versus
Each used one
trainer?
Pokemon.
Oh, what?
Yep, so it was Pikachu versus his superior. And that was it.
Oh.
And Pikachu almost lost. To Rap.
To Rap? Oh my god, Rap?
The move Rap, yep.
It's
literally Superior wrapped itself around Pikachu. Pikachu's suffocating, and Ash stands there for like 10 fucking minutes and is like, I don't know what to do.
Pikachu dodge!
He is strangling my Pokemon. I'm lost right now. No one's ever tried this before.
Finally, Trip is like, alright, time to end this. He goes to have Superior, like, slam Pikachu into the ground. Ash, finally coming up with a plan, has Pikachu use Iron Tail on the ground, which kind of doesn't sound like it makes sense, but the basic idea of it was, instead of Pikachu getting slammed into the ground, the Iron Tail kind of, like, jolted Pikachu free. So now Pikachu's free, and then he uses a combination of Iron Tail and Electro Ball, and just, like, one-shots the Superior and kills it.
What?
It's a really rough fight. It's not good.
Wait, I'm just realizing that everyone in that fight is stupid. Because while Pikachu, presumably, while Pikachu is being strangled, Ash has no idea what to do in this situation.
Pretty much.
25 years of experience behind this 10-year-old child.
Well,
does not know what to do
at this point, it's only like 13 years of experience. But
anyway, does not know what to do. And this guy is like, well, I literally could just stand here and do nothing and I'll win. Let's free Pikachu for a little bit.
I need to be a real asshole about it, though.
Well, he wasn't freeing Pikachu. He was slamming into the ground, but still.
I'm gonna change, even though the current situation is 100% in my favor, I'm gonna change it. It's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. Why do anything? You clearly are going to win.
Yeah, it's really weird.
How do you fumble the bag that badly?
Oh, it gets worse. Apparently, so we stopped in the middle of the Unova League, so I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
But apparently, Ash's loss in the Unova League is, like, really bad.
Well,
like, I had some of my friends who I watch the anime with who know how it goes, says that his loss in the Unova League is worse than his loss in the Sinnoh League. Which, if you know how he lost the Sinnoh League, that's a whole thing.
The only thing I know is that from like being in a because I was in the Pokemon Club at when I was in college.
Uh-huh.
The most like, oh, there's one left. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it. You just got Coconut Mall. Damn
Nope,
it.
not
Okay.
yet.
Uh,
Coconut Mall coming next.
the most like the loss that was like most like divided or was seemed to be the worst was I think the one right after you, Kalos.
I
Kalos
don't
is
know
right
anything
after you,
about the
Nova.
Kalos loss, so
Uh
I know
Yeah.
I know he loses in the finals there.
He does lose in the finals and it's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly
Like
happened.
it's
so I can't
like
say.
I watched someone mathematically figure it out.
Uh-huh.
And it's being like, no, this makes no sense. How does he lose the situation? Like, and the only
I can explain exactly how he loses the situation without even watching it. And it's honestly
Alright.
become a real pet peeve of mine. Is when it comes to Pokemon, I can't say this for other franchises because it may or may not be true for them. But at least in terms of Pokemon, you cannot use game logic to explain anime logic and vice versa. That being, what I mean by that is, if a Pokemon's move has a power of, let's say, 40 in the games, you can't just say that it has a power of 40 in the anime. That's not how it works. Like, the game and the anime are two very, very different things. They've been shown to function differently so many times. So if they're using numbers from the game to justify how Ash should not have lost in the anime, well, that's their fucking... that they're using bad logic.
I can't tell you exactly what it was, but also my reason for why he lost is obviously steroids and illegal doping,
Yeah.
and I'm not memeing.
Oh, okay.
That's genuinely that's a genuine explanation. The only one I can find
Oh, what?
of how he
Wait,
lost
what?
that. But I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
But
I
I
think
think
we're going to be starting the Gen 6 anime in like a month and a half to 2 months. So.
I mean, I just remember being really annoyed at the anime when they just said when they just said dodge.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we've been calling that out too. How many Pokemon know the move dodge?
And it's like, Pikachu, dodge it! And I'm like, I can't do that in the video game.
But yeah, again, I mean, that makes sense in the anime. Because here's the thing, the way I've always looked at it, and I explain this to my online friends all the time while watching, is the game obviously is limited in terms of what you can do in a video game. Like, that makes sense, you know what I mean? The
Sure.
anime can remove those limitations. So, the anime is a more, it's going to sound weird, but it's a more realistic version than the game.
Yeah, but when I am
The characters have way more freedom, obviously.
When I'm
Yeah,
8 years
but-
old.
when I am in 5th grade
Mhm.
playing Pokemon Pearl on my Nintendo DS,
Mm-hmm.
and I am getting rocked by Cynthia's Garchomp when in the anime Ash just says Pikachu dodge, I'm gonna get pissed off.
When I'm 10 years old and I'm facing Brock and goddamn Ash is just electrocuting the sprinkler system. I'm over here. I know he has a sprinkler. I know what's up there. I know he has a sprinkler system up there. Let me break
don't
that.
worry.
Why can't I use it?
Yeah, no.
Ash Cheese is the first 2 gyms.
Oh, Ash Cheese, most of the Kanto gyms.
Yeah, and I'm like,
So, friendly reminder of a rundown of how Ash gets his Kanto gym badges. You ready?
Hmm.
So, Brock accidentally triggers the sprinkler system. Would have beat him. Technically, he decides not to beat Brock, but then Brock insists he takes the badge anyway. So, technically, he did not even fully defeat Brock. Gym 2. His battle against Misty was interrupted. He was losing, but then Misty's sisters are like, nah, you get the badge anyway, because, like, if Pikachu decided to fight, then Pikachu would have won. Because quite literally, they're like, oh, Ash had the type advantage with Pikachu. Keep in mind that the entire rest of the anime is spent being like, type advantages aren't everything. Badge 3. Badge 3. Kind of based, Ash actually beats Raichu with a Pikachu pretty well.
What's funny about that is the anime is like type matchups aren't everything, and then literally every past 3 Pokemon games has had someone be like, "You really know your type matchups."
Yeah.
Right? Do you know water beats fire? What?
What? How do you know your type matchups?
Wait. Let me keep going on this badge lineup for Kanto.
My
Ready?
brother never teach me type
All
matchups.
right. So badge 4. You ready?
That's Erica.
Yep. Probably the worst case. You ready for this one? So friendly reminder to what happens. He says something insulting about perfume, so some girls are like, oh, you aren't allowed to be in the gym. Rather than, like, trying to talk it out with someone, he dresses up as a girl, sneaks into the gym with Team Rocket. Meanwhile, letting Team Rocket into the gym, knowing they're up to no good, has a gym battle, I believe loses the gym battle. Team Rocket then sets the gym on fire. Keep in mind, Ash is accessory to arson at this point. Ash runs into the gym to rescue a Vileplume and gets awarded a badge for rescuing a Pokemon in a fire he was an accessory to cause.
And you see, Team Rocket was really smart because they knew time matchups.
Yeah,
They knew fire would be really effective against the gym. And that's impressive. So they also got gym badges.
Alright, badge 5, Sabrina. Ash loses to Sabrina, finds a wild Haunter, doesn't catch it, takes Haunter back with him. Haunter distracts Sabrina while Ash is battling him. Sabrina rightfully says this is bullshit, this is a 2-on-1. To which the referee is like, nah, it's a wild Haunter, it's totally fair because Ash isn't telling her what to do. And so Ash wins by bullshit. Gym 6 is a fine battle. Gym 7's a fine battle. And then Gym 8, Ash just has to fight Team Rocket, not even the actual gym leader. So, like, 3 out of the 8 Kanto badges were, like, fairly earned, and the other 5 are several degrees of bullshit. Like, it is actually atrociously bad.
Yeah, the anime is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, some of the gym badges are just bad.
The only rewarding thing, or what I feel makes up for it years later, is I stopped watching the anime at Gen 5. So you're actually, well, you're further than I got it, but I also watched the Gen 6 one. I haven't watched Gen 5.
Did you watch the Gen 6 one in its entirety?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because Gen 5 I thought was awful, but then Gen 6 was actually pretty good.
Gen 6, I started watching it when it first came out, but like I just kind of fell behind and just stopped after like 30 episodes.
No, yeah. So
also I just hated Clement in the anime.
To the face of the power of science.
Shut the fuck up. Clement is probably my least favorite of Ash's traveling companions.
The green-haired guy from Gen 5 exists.
No, Silent's not terrible.
He's sure, maybe he's like a solid 6 in the ether, but he's like a 3 compared to Brock.
You say that, but like
I do say that.
But when you watch Kanto, then Johto, then Hoenn, then Sinnoh,
you're not about to tell me that Brock is mid. You're not about to tell me you got sick of Brock.
The entire time, Brock is horny, and that's like his one joke the entire time.
Oh my god, the joke
does get a little tiring.
The joke, yeah, but the joke is different every time.
I will still agree with you and say that I prefer Brock over Silent. I'm just saying Brock's not exactly cracked either. He's not amazing.
Hey. You don't rake Brock on the Ori joke, you rake it on the joke of who is his keeper. Because his keeper changes almost every time.
Oh, like who stops him from being horny?
I could make a whole tier list on the people that keep Brock in line.
Alright.
Anyway, wait.
Who's top?
Before that. before I forget another thing I was supposed to say to you.
Yeah.
You
already forgot.
Matt. Dude.
Matt.
What was I gonna say?
Oh my god.
It was something about
Oh,
Brock.
no! I remember. I remember this one at least.
Okay, hurry up and say it before you forget again.
The thing that made all those awful gym badges kind of worth it.
Mhm.
The Gen 7? That's a Lola, right? Gen
Yes.
7?
Yep.
Gen 7 anime.
Mhm.
Towards the end.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Brock and Misty come back.
Yeah.
They meet him
Mhm.
and they call him out in front of all of his friends.
They do call him out.
They're like, he's like, yeah, I got all 8 badges in Kanto, and they're like, yeah, but you cheesed us out on ours. And then he like tries to hide it, which is pretty cool. Also, the Gen 7 anime also kind of like
what the fuck?
True. The Gen 7 anime
God.
also will like they'll see like a Darkrai, and Ash will be like, I've seen one of those before. And I'm like, they've never done that before. They've never been like,
Oh, he has seen a Darkrai before.
yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
He's seen him like 3 times. But they
yeah. One. One, two, at least 3 that I know of.
I think that would have been the 3rd time because you got Tobias.
Nah. No, you have Tobias. Yeah.
Tobias, the Darkrai movie, and then one thing with I'm pretty sure Iris was there.
There's a well, I know there's another Sinnoh plot with Darkrai before Tobias as well.
Oh, maybe that's it. I'm not sure. But
Where they have to manage Darkrai against Cresselia and stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, he's seen him multiple times. He's ridden up. I hate when he's like Midoriya. He's like Midoriya from My Hero. Anytime he sees All Might, because it's like, oh my god, All Might, and I'm like, dude, he's not like the superhero that you've never met before but idolize. He's literally your surrogate father. Like, stop being surprised every time you
guys
see
are
All
coworkers
Might.
right now.
Yeah, literally coworkers. Like on par. Like you could probably beat him in a field. You'd beat him in a fight right now, probably, based on how the story goes. But every time, like when Ash would see like a Latios or a Latios, especially a Latios, okay, Ash would be like, "Oh my god, a Latios," and I'm like, "Dude, you kissed one."
So so that does bring up a very interesting point, which is something that like people debate over and over again.
If there's multiple,
well, it's not even if there's multiple, but the question is like, which movies are canon and which movies are not canon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's so weird.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
They'll explicitly say stuff like that, where like Ash doesn't know what a Latios is, but he kissed one. But then like he'll call out knowing this Pokemon, and the only time he's seen it before is in the movie.
Yeah, and anime movies are always
just Latios.
Then there's issues of then there's like other issues like how you deal with Mewtwo and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, anime movies are always weird in terms of canon, where most of the time they're not. But I just at what point I'm more like, well, it's more fun to think that. I think it's more fun to be mad that Ash is made out with a Latios and then doesn't know what a Latios is. I think it's way more fun than worrying about canon.
Dude, something that pisses us off is whenever he dexes a Pokemon that he very clearly knows.
Oh yeah.
So he dexed. So in one of the filler episodes that we just watched this past week, there is like these 2 kids who are doing double battles. One of them is like Master of the Sky, and the other one's like Master of the Land.
Oh, Sapphire and Ruby.
I don't know.
Kyogre and Groudon.
No, because it's air and land. So after talking with Salon, they're like, oh, we should get some water types. So they go to get water types, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they find 2 water types, and Ash dexes both of them. You ready for the water types that Ash dexes here?
Mm-hmm.
Weasel and Corfish.
He has had
Two
both of
water
those.
types he owns.
He does own. He will go
owns
back.
He's just a
Weasel
completionist.
and a Corfish.
He's got a new Pokédex. He's got to get those entries.
That's kind of, it's funny you say that, Dustin, because that's kind of how I justify it at this point. Is like a combination of it's a new Dex, and also it gets him the most up-to-date information.
I mean, how do those decks work anyways? Does Professor Folk have the information or not?
He forgets them. He deletes them. Like I
Well,
delete podcasts.
And you don't worry, you just point this at the Pokemon, you'll get all the information about it. It's like, oh, so you already know the information about all the Pokemon then.
Again, so the game and the anime are two different things. The game is weird like that. But in the anime, the way the anime works basically is like, you can just type in a Pokemon's name and it'll give you data on it.
The Dex is
Or
just
you
a
just
Wikipedia. It's
Yeah,
just a
it's just
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia for Pokemon, exactly.
Yeah, they have.
Which makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
The way the game does it doesn't.
The anime has Cerebi. The game doesn't have Cerebi. Is how it works. It is that's another thing that was like weird to me. So I was like, he already has a completed Pokedex. As someone who has never given a shit about completing the Pokedex in any Pokemon game I have ever played.
Mm-hmm.
This guy who's like on fire, like wants to like commit genocide. I want to figure that out. The guy from Kalos.
What?
The main villain from Kalos, who's like, I want to create a perfect world.
Yeah.
Literally on some final solution type stuff the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to know about that guy. I don't care about getting the evolved form of this little flower thing. I've never cared about the Pokedex ever. And I'm like, yeah, sure thing, Oak or Elm or whatever tree I'm talking to.
Whatever tree I'm talking to, damn. I've brought it up before. I think it would be fun if we got like 5 of us, like the 3 of us, Fanning and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And we like worked together, and each of us had like a different Gen 4 game, and we worked together to fill up our dexes.
Oh shit!
Because like that's a speed run that people do. Is that
what, multiple people?
Yeah, so you would get like a team of 5 people. One would have diamond, 1 pearl, 1 platinum, 1 heart gold, 1 soul silver. And the goal is to get the dex completed in all 5 games.
So you have to trade.
Yeah, so it involves trading. So it's quite involved. So it involves trading. One of the people who's doing heart gold, soul silver actually has to reset the game after fully beating it. Because that's the only way to get the Hoenn starters.
Yeah.
One person has to actually play a little bit of Emerald. Because that's the only way to get Regice, Registeel, and Regirock. But yeah, you do stuff like that.
Interesting.
It is a really fun idea, though, and it's something I've been interested in doing. The biggest issue is, one, if you are gonna do it, like, until recently, and I need to check if this actually will work. Until recently, I don't think it's been doable on emulator. It might be doable on emulator now. Just because like there was no emulator settings for like trading and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Can
you trade through emulators now?
On very specific DS ones, possibly. Again, I have to look into it to see if it actually works.
That's insane.
The other issue is if you do it on console, right? Then you would need 5 DS capture cards.
True.
Which is a whole 3 more than I have. But like, yeah, like one of my friends, one of the guys who does the series race with me, his name's Cruel. and he's done a number of those catch-em-alls. He did Gen 4, 3, 2, and 1. Because once you get to Gen 5, things get really kind of stupid. Because Gen 5, there's a large number of Pokemon that you can't get in either Black, White, Black 2, or White 2. So, like, it's kind of stupid to do a Gen 5 one. Gen 6 is doable, from what I've heard. You would just need someone with X, Y, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. And then after that, it's just kind of dumb. But he would do a number of them in person with people in Europe, because that's where he lives.
True.
And ever since I saw him do it, I was like, damn, I want to get an American team together. And I've talked with some of my friends in the Pokemon speedrunning community, and it's always been a thing of, like, I have the people interested, and combined, we have the capture cards needed.
We have the technology.
But, like, A, you would still need to do it in person.
Yeah.
And B, like, no one has a place that they'd be willing to host, where you're going to be able to, like, house everyone for, like, a couple days.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where it gets kind of tricky.
What did you say, Dustin?
We have the technology.
We have the We have the technology.
We have the money. We have the technology.
But yeah, so that's where I got to the point where I was like, yo, what if instead of doing a speed run, we do it somewhat casually, and we do the Fun Fest? That would be more fun.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
And because I don't know if it's like if other people like have like a similar like feeling towards it,
Okay.
but I really like when I have like friends from like one area meet friends. Like I really like the fact that like you guys get along with like Shane and Stanley like really well.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you think we would get along with like your friends you do like speedrunning stuff on, or would they hate us?
I think for the
Or would we hate them?
Or would we hate them?
I
don't think we would hate them.
So it's one of those things where, like, it depends, okay?
Yeah.
Are you talking about, like, we're all meeting up in person? Or we're talking online? Because if we're meeting up in person, I think me and Dustin can say from firsthand experience that it's awkward as hell.
Equally as awkward as like you just happen to be meeting, as awkward as meeting people in person is anyway. I've
met people. So to put things into perspective, especially because Dustin knows what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So during me and Dustin's trip, we went to a speedrunning event, and we met up with one of my online friends there.
Yeah.
Someone who I had not met up with before. And out of all the times I've met up with online friends in real life, that was by far, like, the most awkward.
Okay.
It was, like, weird, but it was, like, a frustrating situation because I'm sure Dustin felt awkward because Dustin didn't know who the fuck they were. I felt awkward because it was like Dustin meeting this person. And I was like,
you kind of have that anxiety of like, oh, I am the bridge here, and if things are awkward, it's like my fault, kind of.
But no, like, I mean, there's a decent number of my friends. Like, for example, if you guys started watching the anime with me, right?
Yeah.
And you were with the people who watch the anime with me, you guys would 100% get along. 100%. Okay. You would get along with that crew easily. The crew that I usually talk to on stream, yeah, you'd probably get along with most of them fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, you'd probably get along with them, yeah.
Alright.
It's just that, a decent amount of the time, like, some of them, if I'm talking to them in voice, usually it's because they're speedrunning something, I'm speedrunning something. But, I mean, we still have a lot of casual conversation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, it wouldn't be particularly awkward. No.
You think we would get along?
Why? You want to start being on my stream more often?
If the cross, I've just always wondered about it because I feel like there's this like whole other world of Rob the Gamer 115.
I mean, by all means, you're welcome to join in.
Like, do I really know who Rob the Gamer 115 is, or do I just know who Rob is?
Matt, start doing Crystal Randomizer with me. There you go.
You could not pay me enough to start speedrunning.
I know
not
Rob the
speedrunning.
human, but who's Rob the gamer?
who is Rob? Rob the human? I know. Hey, I know Rob the human. Love the guy.
Dude,
Rob
I'm
the
ashamed of
gamer?
Rob the human.
Rob the gamer, though, he's kind of an enigma. Like, is he really the same? Are they different?
But no, I think you could get along with them for the most part.
Who are these people that Rob knows?
Matt, you can join me in voice anytime you want. Anytime I'm streaming.
Do you have any like? Are there any like? I'm just very interested.
Yep.
In your second lives.
Okay.
Is there anyone that's like of our friend group and your friend group that are like either these are carbon copies of each other or these are polar opposites of each other?
I'm trying to think here. All right, so carbon copies.
Like, does anyone else make like mishearing things bits? Because if so, I want to meet them. I want to exchange notes.
No, not really. Honestly, the closest carbon copy that I could probably come up with is even then it's really not that close. Would be
More personality, I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, so I mentioned before how in the anime group that I watch, two of the people are a couple.
Yeah.
The girl in that group, her, I've known her for a long time now, like 4 or 5 years. Her personality and her sense of humor is probably kind of close to yours.
To mine?
Yeah.
Or similar.
But I don't think I would call it a carbon copy.
I guess I mean more like, I mean kind of more what you said. I kind of just said carbon copy as just the word to describe it. But like, if you're like, you would say like, oh, this is definitely the Matt of this group, or this is the.
No, I don't think of my friends like that. I really don't.
Or like they're very similar. Like I hang out with them, and it feels similar to hanging out with X person.
Not really, because it's really hard for me to compare people I pretty much only know online to people I know in real life.
Yeah, just like
that gets very tricky.
Like parallel parallel universe, alternate timeline. Like,
yeah.
They're very similar. Are there people that you, like? Is there anyone in your friend group that like you think I would not vibe with?
Anyone that you would not vibe with?
Like we meet and we're immediately arch enemies forever.
Immediately arch enemies?
Yeah.
Well, I have this one friend who's a member of the KKK. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yo!
Could you imagine? I just dropped that out of nowhere.
I didn't know you were friends.
That'd be
with
nuts.
I didn't know you were friends with the Nazis from the Survivor Discord. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me you were buds with one of them. That's
Wait,
huge.
one of the Nazis was actually a mod? What?
But no, I can't think of any. I mean, here's the thing, Matt, is like, you're asking me if any of my online friends are people you wouldn't get along with. I have a hard time picturing anyone I know IRL who you really don't get along with to like that degree.
Fair enough. I'm not
like there are people I know who slightly irk you, but like even then, I wouldn't say you hate them. Like I'm sure you can think of people that I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
like, even then, I wouldn't say you hate them.
I guess it is
annoyed
more
by them, but
I suppose it is more.
You're too easygoing to hate it. Same with Dustin.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough hater energy in me to make it interest. I guess they would. I guess I don't really dislike people based on, like, if I dislike someone, it's for a legitimate reason.
Now,
It's not typically pretty petty. I'm trying to find which one of your friends I need to challenge to a rap battle. Is what I'm trying to figure
If you
out.
want to talk about one of my IRL friends being like complete opposite to one of my online friends,
Yeah.
I can probably think the best case that I can think of is someone who is probably as opposite to like Seth as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Also a Nazi.
No. Oh my god, no. I did set myself up for that, I guess. No, but like, I have one of my friends who, I won't say who they are, but I have one of my friends who is, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this while being nice. They're very emotional. If you make they are someone who will absolutely 100% take a joke the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which is you can make what you think is the most mild of jokes, and like it will put them in a bad mood for the next 4 hours.
Yeah, which is fine.
And Seth is someone who probably has the least filter that I know.
Fair enough. Okay, I kind of see what you mean.
Like, in that regard, like, I remember, because, like, when we first started hanging out, me and this online friend, like, I would say things that would upset him, and it took me a while to, like, really understand what I can and can't say. And it's almost like I had to be careful around my words. Not in, like, I have to be so careful about my words in a bad way, just, I don't want to upset my friend.
Yeah, and that's kind of. I feel like
nothing wrong with that. But like, Seth would take it too far every single time.
No, that's normal. That's the.
But I think it's one of those things where like you might make a joke, you would immediately realize how much it bothers him, and immediately backpedal. Like
never do it again. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because you know you have enough common sense.
Like I feel like I say this a lot, and I don't know if that's just because I'm just in my own head about it, or I think about it a lot, but it's kind of the you're playing Jackbox with a group of friends you've never played Jackbox before.
Oh, that's the worst.
So you're like, because I did this a lot in college, because I would just be hanging out in someone's dorm with maybe a slightly different group of people than normal. And it's like, you guys want to play Jackbox? And I'm like, okay, let's see. Like, is this the kind of Jackbox lobby where you just write "come" and you win? Is this the kind of dark? I
don't think you can do that with any group of strangers. Unless you're like at PAX East, maybe.
Trust me, they exist.
I don't think I'd feel comfortable doing that with strangers.
It's mostly like what's the one where you just write one word to a prompt and you go head to head? Is it Quiplash? Yeah, that's very common in Quiplash.
Yeah,
you just write "come" and you win.
Like the one hard drive article, it's like Quiplash servers down after banning the word "come" or something like that. It's like nobody knows what to say anymore.
Actually, I've had the opposite situation recently happen to me, Matt.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to you, not in the podcast, but off podcast, that I'm doing some sort of a Crash Bandicoot tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So I had my first match earlier this week. I've actually had my first 2 matches, but I had my first match, and I think let me clarify how I got involved in this tournament in the beginning, okay? So I help run the video game bingo event, right?
Yeah.
And my main job with that is whenever we get close to an event, go to like 30 or so different speedrunning Discords and just like try to get new people interested in the event, both for running and viewing.
Yeah, you said something about like making new bingo boards.
Right. So I found this community that that does a lot of bingo with the Crash Bandicoot series, the Spyro series, and a variety of Disney games, like A Bug's Life and Monsters Incorporated and stuff like that. And so I got them involved in the bingo thing. I started talking with them a little bit. And then, because I also am very interested in Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, I stuck around in the Discord. Because I was like, oh, I like this. So they announced this tournament. I'm like, oh, I'll participate. So keep in mind, I joined this tournament. I don't really know the people running this tournament. I don't really know anyone involved in this tournament that well. I join, and I've done a variety of speedrunning tournaments. I joined the voice call setting up for my first match, right?
Mm.
And most tournaments, the way that they'll handle restreaming a match is you usually don't even have the runners on the same voice. You'll let them focus. And then you'll have one or two people commentating as well, okay?
Yeah.
We had a clusterfuck of 9 or 10 people in voice. And on top of that, they were having some of the most R-rated conversations I've ever heard on Twitch during my match.
Like for casting?
They weren't even really commentating. It was literally like, know how like we'll just shoot the shit?
Yeah.
It's like that, but they were more vulgar, had like very little filter, and it was being live streamed on Twitch.
Oh, damn.
And I just was like uncomfortable. To the point where like after this tournament, I'm probably not going to do too much in that Discord. I'll still have them do the bingo stuff, because like they clean up their act for the bingo thing. They're fine with that.
Yeah.
Because, we treat that a lot more professionally. But like they'd asked us in the past to like make an announcement and stuff for like their tournaments and stuff. And like this one included. So like, I went to bat for them a little bit. I was like, hey, can we post a message just letting people know that this is going on over the next 2 months? And if they're interested, subscribe to the channel and watch them. I don't know if I want to do that anymore because they're not something that we necessarily want to endorse because of what they say. Granted, they're not saying like racist or sexist things. It's not.
Yeah, you get me scared over here a little bit.
No, they're not getting racist or sexist, but like
they're just a little raunchy.
It is a little more raunchy than I would.
More family friendly-ish program.
Less family friendly. Yeah.
Right, like for the bingos. Like for the bingo stuff, the bingo stuff basically does what I do for stream, which is keep it PG-13 with the exception of swearing. Yeah. Like if you want to say say fuck, whatever, go for it.
Okay, that one.
We don't care. But like, as long as you're not like going, like overboard, you know what I mean? But like that's it. Like the one thing I never do on stream, for example, is I will never talk about anything sexual in nature whatsoever. Like, I will not say anything like that. No sex jokes at all, nothing like that. And they did not draw that line.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. In that situation, that is the experience I don't want someone to have to deal with when I'm playing Jackbox with people I don't know.
That's the other issue, I think, was that because there were so many people in the voice call and they were having like such a casual conversation, I basically felt like an outsider because I don't know them.
Yeah.
Not that they were doing anything to make me feel like an outsider, but like, it just happens.
Yeah.
How it be.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. So it's just like, huh.
Yeah, like I remember like in college when I first started meeting the people from Pokemon Club, I was kind of okay, like how do we, like if we would play Jackbox, or just kind of like my overall sense of humor.
Mhm.
Like, because obviously I like to be like, if someone says like, if people are, people are talking about Winnie the Pooh and they say, "Oh, my favorite character is Tigger," I'm gonna be like, "What'd you call me?" Like I'm gonna say something like that. I'm totally cool.
Right.
I'm totally cool with that. But with this group of people, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know. Like, would that fly, or would they feel like that's really weird? Even if they're all white, like, is it still gonna be weird? Like, I think about that, and I think about every single possible kind of like, could this be weird? Could this not be weird?
Mhm.
And it wasn't necessarily Jackbox that I figured out, like what like the line was. It was when they invited me over to their dorm to watch the Ghost Stories anime, which is the one where it's the dub can do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and they say lines like, the kid's trying to run fast, and he's like, "Pretend that there's a big black guy behind you,"
Oh my God.
or it's like,
Is that the one where that rabbit line comes from?
Yeah.
or it's like,
Oh
it's a
my
kid walks
God.
out with pajamas and are like, "These pajamas are gay." It's like, "Why are you crying? My pajamas are gay."
Matt,
Or it's like the big,
honest
yeah,
question, because you know me, you know that I kind of am fine with that kind of humor. Okay?
yeah.
Would you recommend me watch that anime?
I would be upset if you watched it alone.
Okay, so that's one to watch with y'all.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
many episodes is it? How many episodes is it?
I think it's just a 12 episode anime, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
so what I'm hearing is we have the next thing to watch after my friends.
Watch the Ghost Stories dub, yeah.
All right,
Sure.
yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
But after I went to their dorm, keep in mind, this is like very early into my anime career. I have maybe seen like 3 at this point,
Okay.
which is insane considering
So
how...
you're watching it even earlier than I would be in my end.
Yeah, like
Okay.
at this point, like, I have started watching My Hero, which is the first one I watched.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, one of my roommates said I should watch Sword Art Online.
Okay.
And I really only started watching anime because they were really into anime, and I'm like, oh, this is like my new friend group.
Which is kind of like how I'm starting to watch anime because you're really into anime.
Kinda, yeah. So
That's how they get you.
And they invite me to watch this, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. And I watched this, and apparently they told me this like after the fact, the whole time. Especially for lines like, "It's not because you're a rabbit, it's because you're a black." Apparently,
was everyone just looking at you?
they were less watching the anime and more watching me watch the anime.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And at that point, and then after that whole thing, when I watched all of that with them, I'm like, I feel at peace with these people. Yeah. I can say anything.
Out of curiosity, so the English dub, they were just told, do whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the Japanese dub with English subtitles?
No, I have
and gotten
not.
like the proper actual story.
I have not. I do not care enough.
Okay.
Yeah, no one cares about the actual story.
Why do all?
Well, actually, I think it is kind of a thing where the dub got popular, so then people want to check out the original. I was like, oh, it's actually not that bad.
And it's not. It's nothing like.
Oh, I'm sure
You're
nothing
watching-
like it. It's a completely different
right?
story.
Why do all principals look like lesbians?
Yeah.
Like, a couple classic lines from the Ghost Stories dub. Yeah, but and then that was like my freshman. That was that my freshman year. Yeah, that was my freshman year. And then
Chuck,
after
you only
that,
started watching anime in college. I thought you were
know.
like back in high school, like Georgia.
no, I made fun of them for watching anime in high school. And I still make fun of them. What I've always said is I still make fun of them for watching anime. I just have more ammunition.
Yeah.
Instead of just joking that they watch anime and saying vague things, I now can point out specific characters and really make it hurt them. And that's fun. Like my friend Zach, who you guys have obviously met.
Yeah.
He actually really liked AIDS Girl from Sword Art Online. So that's an example of, oh, not only can I joke about it, I know everything about it. I can make it specific, which makes it worse, which makes it more fun. I
I
can
will
now
tell you this.
I
So
can just
similar to you saying that, oh, I'm watching anime, so I can make more specific jokes about things.
yeah.
High up on my to watch anime list at
Yeah.
this point is unironically Your Lie in April.
Yo.
Just because I've heard so much about how sad this ending is, so I'm like, fuck, I gotta. But y'all still haven't really explained why it's sad. So
So
like,
surprised.
I don't know what actually happens.
It's very sad.
I know it's sad. I don't know why. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'll find out.
You will find out. I want to watch. I want. Because right now, the only person that knows what I'm talking about is Georgia.
Mhm.
But but he watched it before I did.
Oh, okay.
Like I haven't had the op. Actually, that's not true. A friend of mine from a friend of mine from college did end up watching it per my, because I told him to watch it, and I did get to have that like. I did get to have like
Conversation with
talking to him shortly after he watched it,
Mhm.
which is great. We can all cry together. But yeah, very, very sad, but like also like one of my favorite anime like ever. Like I can look up, like I look up and to the left, and I have
Mhm.
like a post. I have like the wall scroll, like which is like a fab, like more like it's like a poster, but like it's made like a like fabric,
Mhm.
and it rolls up. Like I have one of Your Lie in April right there. Like it's like genuinely
You know what? I probably
one of my
saw it
favorite
then and didn't
anime.
know what it was.
Yeah, you've definitely seen it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love it. But
Dustin, you should watch the vending machine anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you watching it too?
Yeah. Well, there's only 2 episodes out. Me and Matt haven't
Yeah.
seen episode 2 yet, so
Yeah,
you're
I
only
showed
one
it-
episode behind us.
yeah, I showed him the first episode because I'm like, this is one of the stupidest.
Well,
the
to
thing
be fair, I asked you to show me it.
yeah,
I was like,
The-
show me this anime because this sounds so ridiculous.
the thing
But
about
I
the
think I
vending
would
machine,
enjoy it. And it
The
looks
thing-
good.
the thing about the vending machine anime is that the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever watched. And then they kind of get into like how they gamified the idea of him being a vending machine
Mhm.
and how he has points and he can trade out what he has. And apparently there's other skills he can learn, like adding a force field. And I'm like, okay, this is
I like
kind
the
of it.
idea of him being like, okay, I'm a vending machine. What am I capable of doing? And then there's like a buff for like attack. He's like, well, I can't attack. I don't have any limbs.
Yeah, they made it. I'm like, look, 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. 11 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I kind of want. Okay, this is kind of interesting.
It's one of those things where it's such a ridiculous concept that you're like, how could this possibly work? But like, they pretty much nail it perfectly on how it could work.
They made into it. They made into like they gave it. A lot of times with the isekais, they kind of give them like a common thing with the isekai is that sometimes it is just a raw fantasy world, but sometimes it's like a video game fantasy world.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, you kind of have something like, I know none of this is gonna resonate with you at all.
Mhm.
But you have something like ReZero, which is this is a kid in a fantasy world where magic exists, but he kind of learns it naturally. And like he has like this condition, he has like this like special condition, but it's like it fits into the lore of the world, and it's like natural. And then you have something like Konosuba, where they literally have a card that says how many skill points they have, and then they can give those skill points to abilities and then learn them.
Mhm.
And they have classes and
That's kind of
level.
like the vending machine anime where they're like making it almost like into a video
Yeah,
game.
this is definitely much more of a video game isekai, and there's plenty of both. But I think the fact that this one they made it more like a video game. I think if the vending machine started, one thing about the new vending machine anime is that he can't talk. He can only really communicate with the outside world through vending machine lines.
Mhm.
Just like, thank you, come again, insert a coin in the coin slot. and stuff like that. I
Yep.
think if he had just started talking to people right off the bat, I would have closed it.
Yeah, that would have been a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
they
like-
kept it grounded in reality, kind of. To like, all right, you're a vending machine. You can't walk. You can not really even talk. What can you do? You can accept coins.
Yeah.
You can give people drinks and food. I guess you can control what's food or drinks you offer. You can control kind of what price you have it at. And yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't so goofy that I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
If you want to throw away anime to watch this season, like you can
Yeah.
I would recommend that one.
Sure.
I'll do Giguk's job because he hasn't
Yeah,
made the
'cause
video
damn.
yet.
YouTube took the video down.
Which video?
So Giguk is an anime YouTuber. And basically what he does a stream of basically looking at every single anime that's coming out for a particular season.
Okay.
Reads the synopsis, watches the trailers, and kind of gives his opinion on it.
Okay.
And that's typically what I watch to decide what I'm gonna watch for a particular season.
Okay.
Because he has like a fan that like just uploads the VODs of that
Uh-huh.
direct stream. And I watched a little bit of it. Like, I'm gonna watch a little bit for it, and then later I'm gonna watch the whole thing. But then it got deleted.
Oh, damn.
So I couldn't decide what I was gonna watch this season. It's like,
Can
okay,
you
I
not
guess I'm
watch
gonna
the,
work on my list.
Can you watch the Twitch VOD?
Maybe. I
When was
just don't
it
wanna put that much work
streamed?
into
Was it streamed recently?
Probably a couple weeks ago by now, maybe 3.
Are they like an affiliate on Twitch, do you know?
Probably.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
can probably go into past broadcasts and watch it there. Unless
yeah.
the audio got.
Which I guess
And
is possible.
The thing is also the person would have in the description, like he would have like book timestamps of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd also use that to like skip by to try to see like a name that would catch my eye.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have the like list that I'm watching this season. Which my current system is I just make a text document that has the anime and then the day it comes out. And that's how I've been keeping track.
I think the only new anime that's coming out that I'm gonna watch is the Vending Machine one because I've got quite the backlog to start getting caught up on.
Yeah.
Dustin, I finished season 1 of Assassination Classroom,
Nice.
so now I'm on to season 2,
Season 2.
which will probably be my goal for next week.
Koro Sensei.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get into it.
Are you still
Brother.
doing the Attack on Titan rewatch at some point?
Gets less and less. You have less and less time every day, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
officially
well-
in September. I don't know
well,
the date, but I think it is
So
in September.
here's the issue, okay?
Mhm.
Is the way I see it, I could rewatch Attack on Titan or I could watch new stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think you need to rewatch Attack on Titan.
I probably should. But
I feel-
we'll see.
I feel like the most you have to do would be watch. I'm so
That was
sorry.
mean.
I did not expect you to get stuck in that corner.
Dude, I was
did
stuck in
not-
that corner for like a good 5 seconds.
I did not mean to add to make that
Dude,
worse
I
for
just
you.
got a star power up too.
I am so sorry. I regretted it as soon as I hit the
It's
button.
fine. It's
Uh,
fine. You're not doing great, so you need all the help you can get.
True. I feel like
Besides,
for
I'm gonna bash you in a sec anyway.
I feel like for Attack on Titan, you really don't have to rewatch everything. If anything, I've just rewatched the last couple episodes just so you like are refreshed on. Well, for you, I think you need a refresher on who Mikasa is.
Nah, Mikasa is 2 Casa.
Yeah, but can you identify the character on screen?
Mikasa was the one character you could recognize on screen.
Oh,
It was everybody else was the problem.
No, I know Armin. I know Armin.
I know Armin.
yeah.
He's the
Oh yeah,
blonde
he knew
one.
Levi.
Yeah, he
Dude,
knew
I know Levi.
but
Dude,
he
I
couldn't
am
recognize that it was a
Levi.
flashback because he was no longer in bandages.
Like,
We'll see.
is this character? No, Rob. They died like a season ago. What are you talking about?
But yeah,
Is
we'll
that
see
this
about
character?
that.
No, it's a Titan.
Is this character as he's? Oh, is this the blonde? Is this like the blonde girl as he's looking at like the colossal titan? Like, no. What are you talking about? No, but I think really all you need to do, I guess
I might
watch
rewatch
the
the
last season?
last like season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Those are
think
the
I'll-
only
like,
episodes
I
you
rem-
just straight up missed.
Because like the first season I remember pretty well, but like it was starting to, once we started getting near the end, I started getting more and more confused as to what the fuck was going on.
I think
Yeah.
really the
As
only important.
everything went off the rails.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. So, can you can you like it like very like could you summarize like what the people outside of the island did to the people inside the island?
I'm trying to think if I can.
Like, could you explain like generally what like why they hate them and like what the system is that they have put in place to deal with the devils, so to speak, in terms of that?
It was.
Also, I might through me being vague, I might be not doing a very good job describing it.
It was
so-
something like only like some certain people are capable of becoming Titans.
the children of Ymir.
Right. It was the children of this one person who could become Titans. And basically they reached a point where the other people were too afraid of the people who could become Titans. And also there were the issue of the 9 like major Titans, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So like they didn't want any of the major Titans really being around. They wanted to get all the major Titans under their control. So,
Okay. That's close enough.
so
I'd say.
like they basically banished everyone who could become a Titan to the island. So that way they could stop just there being a bunch of regular Titans running amok causing trouble. And then from there they were like, okay, we need to get all the major Titans under our control. We're gonna start a mission sending in deep undercover agents, basically. And that's where you get Reiner and Baron was his name?
Bertolt.
Bertolt.
It is a very stupid name. Sound.
it is.
So like they're now, and there was Annie as well. There was
Yes.
also the fourth guy, but the fourth guy was like eaten like almost immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Ian trying to save Reiner.
That's pretty close. Right, Dustin?
He did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I would say really, and can you do you understand like the significance of the founding titan and who the founding titan is and like why they're important?
When you say the founding titan, do you mean all 9 of the major titans, or like the founding?
The founding
The
titan.
founding
The
Titan.
founding titan has some sort of a power to control all the other titans.
Yeah.
It was. I'm trying to
And-
remember how they accessed it, but I forget exactly how. It was something like you had to have the founding titan power, but then you also needed something.
Blood.
Yeah, it was
Ye-
like blood. Because I remember like Eren could only use it with Zeke's help or something.
Because you had to be
Yeah.
directly related to Ymir,
original.
I think.
Yeah, Ymir, the original, the little
Yeah.
girl from the flashback.
Yeah. So it gets to be like that.
Okay, I think I'd say
That
in order.
being said, so basically, I would say the moment that I started getting extremely confused probably starts right after Sasha's death.
Okay.
Like, shortly after Sasha's death is where I started getting really confused.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's honestly probably
That
where I
is-
start rewatching, is like with Sasha's death.
That is kind of the part where there were like 3 different plans going on, and we were realizing what each
There's like
plan was.
5
and, like,
different
totally-
plans
Yeah.
going on. We're only told really about 2 of them.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows what's going on with Eren? Because he's like off in his own little world.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, it looks like he's double crossing them with Zeke, but then it's like he's triple crossing, but then he's like quadruple crossing. And it just like
He's really just on his own team.
And he's kind
right,
of like
and so that's really Eren just confuses.
he's on his
Like,
own team, but he also double crosses his own team. I think.
like that's where I got really
Yeah.
confused.
No, honestly, if you the fact that on it, like based on the only reason I was asking those questions was to kind of see like do you kind of at least have like a general understanding of like why things are important, and it seems like you do. And if you can identify that, right after Sasha dies is where things start to get confused, I think that's just a really good point to start.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think, but even then, I think part of me would like to rewatch the beginning, because again, I've only seen it once. So it's one of those things where, like, especially with a lot of anime, I've noticed, but I mean, you can say that with a lot of TV shows in general. Once you know, maybe not the full outcome, but like certain outcomes, you start picking up on a lot more things in earlier episodes.
Yeah,
So,
Definitely. That's what happened to me when I was doing the rewatch with you.
mhm.
I couldn't keep my eyes off of Ryder the whole time. I was like, oh, it's so obvious now.
yeah. Okay. All right, guys, I have a dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really have to go to the bathroom, so I think I'm just gonna go. Guys are gonna have to fill though.
It's okay. I know what I can fill it with.
All right, cool.
Fill
Also,
it
I'm
up.
gonna stop moving.
Cool. So, Dustin,
Yes.
did you happen to notice what I posted on the topics channel a couple days ago?
I probably did when you posted it, but now I don't remember.
You should take a quick look when you got a second.
Sure.
Because otherwise, what I'm about to start explaining will make absolutely no goddamn sense.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
That. So,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of the password game?
Maybe if you describe it more, I might know what you're
So
talking about.
Matt introduced this to me and got me deep, unfortunately. But basically, the premise of it is, know how when you're filling out a password, it's like, oh, you need a capital letter. Oh, you need numbers. Oh, you need a special character, or whatever, like that.
Yes, yeah.
Well, someone made it into a fucking game. Okay? So, step 1 is type in your password, right?
Mhm.
So you just type in whatever. And then it's like, oh, you actually need numbers in it. Oh, you need a special character in it. And then very quickly it gets off the rails. To the
Okay.
point where it's like, I think the next thing is like, oh, you need to make sure you have a Roman numeral in it.
Okay.
And
A
then
Roman
it's
nu-
like, oh, all of your numbers in your password have to add up to 25. And keep in mind
my
that these
God.
rules are all stacking on top of each other.
Yeah.
So,
that's-
Matt introduced it to me because he saw a YouTube video where someone speedruns it in like a minute 30, which is absolutely insane, okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll play it for a little bit. And some of the steps that I got to involved, it loaded up basically GeoGuessr and was like, type in the name of this country.
Okay.
Loaded up a chessboard and said, in alphabetic notation, you must type in your password, the best move you could possibly make in this scenario.
All right.
But the worst, by far, the worst part of it is Paul. So, if you noticed at the beginning of this fucking mess that I posted, There's a chicken.
Yes.
His name is Paul.
Paul.
Do me a favor, Dustin, and say fuck you, Paul.
Fuck you, Paul.
Yeah, because Paul's an ass.
Yeah,
You see,
fuck Paul.
No, he's a chicken.
Yeah,
So-
fuck Paul.
So,
No,
like,
donkey.
around step 22, they're like, oh, there's this egg. Please put this egg in your password for safekeeping. And you're like, okay, sure, no problem. So you just copy this egg emoji, paste it in, right? And then after a couple more steps, they say, oh, the egg hatched into Paul. Paul eats these purple worms. You need to make sure that Paul stays fed. He eats one worm every 20 seconds, but don't overfeed it. What they basically mean, Dustin, is at all times in your password, every 20 seconds, a purple worm will be removed from your password. If at any point it tries to remove a purple worm and there is not a purple worm, you game over. If at any point
my
you put in more than 3 purple worms, you game over. So now on top of all these complicated things, I'm having to post in a goddamn purple worm every 20 seconds to 30 seconds. That made me lose like 5 runs in a row. So fuck you, Paul.
Did you tell him? Did you tell him how you found this game?
Yeah, I told him that you introduced me.
That I sent it to you at like 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, no. Also, Matt sent this to me at like 12:30 in the morning, and I played it till like 3 a.m.
Oh my god.
A fun part is that I saw like a TikTok or Twitter post about this game, and I immediately was like, "This sounds infuriating, but this sounds like a Rob game." So I'm gonna wait to tell Rob about this game at some point, and then unfortunately I remembered at like midnight.
Oh, so Dustin, so going on with how stupid some of these rules were, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, they introduce you to Paul. You have to feed him like that, right?
Yeah.
Very, very next step. You ready?
Mhm.
Put in the URL for a YouTube video that is exactly 34 minutes and 10 seconds long.
Okay, so that's what the video was.
Yep. So keep in mind, you're having to look up a YouTube video. You can't look up YouTube videos by length, by the way. Not a thing.
Right.
So you're just looking at a list of videos, hoping to find one of the right length, but at the same time, every 20 seconds, you have to feed Paul. And, by the way, remember how I said that all the numbers have to add up to 25? That includes the numbers in the URL.
Oh no.
Oh, but it gets worse, Dustin. It gets worse, okay? You see, there are things that the Discord cannot even show you, Dustin. One of the steps, around step 31, was every time you type in a letter, right? Every letter in your password, if it's the same letter multiple times, they all have to be different text font sizes.
Different text font sizes?
Yep, so let's say you
Guys.
have the letter A in font 12. Every other time the letter A shows up, it cannot be font size 12.
Oh my
So
god.
you have it now in different font sizes. Then you have to have like exactly, you have to like bold every vowel. But then you have to have double the amount of characters italicized than you have bolded. Finally, when I ended up having to give up, was on step 35, and this is why I had to give up, okay? Let me explain the situation I was in. You ready? So remember, all the numbers have to add up to like, I think it was like 25, it might have been 35. But either way, it was a low number, okay?
It was I think all the Roman numerals had to multiply to 35.
Right, yeah, that's what it is. And the digits had to add up like 25.
Something like that, yeah.
So the issue was the following, okay? Step 1. You have... Oh, maybe the numbers in the URL didn't count. I don't know. Either way, step 1. I had a CAPTCHA that I had to put in early on that had a 6 and a 4 in it. So that already adds up to 10, okay?
Okay.
Step 2, because of some other rules, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but probably it was some other rules or whatever. I was forced into numbers that added up to 22, okay?
Yes.
Meaning I only had a leadway of 3, okay? Rule 35, the current time must be in your password. I realized that in order for me to advance to the next step, I would have had to wait for 3 a.m. on the dot, and even then, I would have only had 1 minute to finish the entire thing. At which point, I conceded defeat.
That's
Rob,
rough.
Now, it occurred to me after the fact that I probably had a way around that, but I didn't realize it until after I'd stopped. Where I know at least with some of the things, you could actually re-roll them. So for example, what was it? What was one of the things? Oh, one of the things you had to have in it was an exact hex code of a color. And by that I mean they show you a color and they're like putting that exact hex code. They don't tell you the
Nice.
hex code.
Right.
So I had to download a Chrome extension in order to figure out the hex code. But like you could re-roll the color. So I ended up having to re-roll it for one that had no numbers in it.
Yeah.
So it occurred to me after the fact I might have been able to re-roll the CAPTCHA. And if I had re-rolled the CAPTCHA to something with way less numbers, then the time would have been way more. But I have not touched it since. I don't think I want to touch it again. I
Fair.
think, Dustin, it is your turn to play it and see how far you get.
Oh,
Good
God,
luck
no.
with Paul. Paul's a bitch.
Dude, I didn't get the Paul.
Yeah, Matt didn't get far.
What
did you get to? The GeoGuessr?
Yeah. But then I got to the GeoGuessr and I was streaming it, and then you couldn't. It was like we got like a really difficult one when I was streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
We got like a really difficult GeoGuessr, and so Rob couldn't get the GeoGuessr, and at that point I'm like, well, if Rob can't get it,
That was like best scenario.
no, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I can't get it. I don't GeoGuessr. When Rob's phone was dying during the GeoGuessr panel at Fax, I was like, Rob, take my phone. Like, you're the one. I'm not doing it. My dumbass isn't figuring out what a
You
baller
say
is.
I'm the one, but at this point, Georgia might actually be better than me at GeoGuessr.
Yeah, he's foreign. He's
At the very
cheating.
least, he's gotten really good as well.
He's cheating. He's foreign.
But he's foreign-blooded and cheating. Damn.
But yeah, I'm like, if Rob is not getting it, I'm not getting it. So
Oh,
if
by
anything,
the way,
Rob
Dustin,
knows more countries.
something
than
else
I
I
do.
should mention about this, right? The GeoGuessr puzzle, the chess puzzle, the length of the URL, all that stuff.
Yep.
It's random every time.
Oh,
So it's not the same country in GeoGuessr every time.
right.
It's not the same length of video. Literally, watch the speedrun me and Matt did. We watched the speedrun. This guy had a huge document of every time from like 15 minutes all the way to like 40 minutes. Every second interval had a link to copy and paste into it. Like, I was just amazed. I was like, God damn.
Nah.
And I don't know how many steps there are. I might have been really close to the end. For all I know, Rule 35 was the last one. I don't know. I don't know how much further it went.
I mean, I can get the Rule 34 pretty easy if you know what I'm talking about.
Actually,
Yeah.
now that you mention that, that's really funny because they got to Rule 34 and it literally said, we're just going to skip this one.
Nice.
So there is no Rule 34.
Nice. Yeah, no, I don't. I guess that's just not my type of game. I just quit very easy. When those type of things, I pretty much will only check it out for the novelty.
Mhm.
And the moment it gets like you have to put some work in, I'm like, nah, not worth it.
Had you ever done the Impossible quiz, Matt?
Yeah, it's like the ants. I know the really old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
What about the
I can't-
impossible game?
That's the
Or
one.
no, not the impossible game. The world's hardest game.
World hardest game. Is that the one with the squares?
Yes.
Like you have to move the square.
Yeah, you move the
Through the thing.
square, collect the yellow coins, get to the green.
Yeah,
zone.
I've done that.
Okay, I was just curious.
I remember when we were in middle school.
Mhm.
I
That's
was in
about
like
when I was playing as well.
I was like in this like after school program because my mom had to work late, so it was like I stayed at this school for like another hour.
Mhm.
And there was games like that would like sometimes we would go to like the computer lab, and we would just play games like that, and like certain things would fade in and out of popularity.
Mhm.
And one of them was like that game. So basically, that's what everyone else was using the computer for. So I just kind of joined in. There was another one where it was like you're like a triangle that was like it permanently fixed to the middle of the screen, and your like arrow keys would like tilt the screen, and basically you're like this triangle like navigating through a bunch of squares.
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was something like that, and that was popular.
And then
Dude,
there
you
was
know
that
what?
sand one.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what blows my mind is when, and this has happened multiple times, where I will see a game that like one of the middle schoolers is playing during class, and it's literally a game that I was playing when I was in middle school.
Flash game?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I think the biggest example was I'm trying to remember the exact name of it. It was something like Fire Boy and Water Girl or Water Boy and Fire Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I know what you're
And
talking about.
They were literally playing that, and I literally looked at them. I was like, "You do know that game was out when I was your age?" And they were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and that must have really blew their mind because to you, you're like 50
Dude,
years old.
as far as the kids are concerned, I'm like 40.
Yeah, like in all honesty, you're not like what how old are they in seventh grade?
They're like 13.
12, 13.
So you're like what, 10 years older than them, average, maybe?
Like closer to 12, but still not much.
Yeah.
It's to the point where I repeatedly tell them that I am closer in age to them than most of the other teachers in the building.
Yeah, but to them,
Like,
you're
Anxious.
you're decrepit. You're going to a nursing home. So.
It's actually funny because I'm actually going to use that partially to my advantage when I start teaching this year. I do not want the kids to know that I'm a new teacher. I don't want them to know that this is my first year teaching.
Dude, you should
They should know that I'm new to the building, but I don't want them to know that I'm new to
You should get like a bunch of fake pictures of like classes and like have me like Photoshop you into them to make it seem like you've taught, like you have like a bunch of class pictures.
Nah.
That'd be dedication.
That would be a bit extreme.
Dude, it would, and then imagine how funny it would be at the end of the year. You're like, yeah, you guys were my first class. All of these are fake. That would be so funny.
Dude, that would be
That would be a permanent memory for them. They'll never forget that, I promise you.
I just look at them at the end of the year and I'm like, by the way, I was gaslighting you all year. These are all fake photos. You've been had. They're just like, wait, what?
It's like you look closer and like Tom Holland is photoshopped into one of them.
Dude, no, that's the thing is I would absolutely have you do that where it's like it shows me teaching a class, but like the person at the front is like very clearly like some famous person.
Goddamn fucking like
I'm literally teaching like Harry Potter over here.
I just like very
I like the idea that some of the kids might pick up on it and they're like, what? They're like, is that Harry Potter? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, it looks like Harry Potter. I'm like, nah, that was Daniel.
You have Daniel instead of Daniel, like Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah, exactly.
You have like a class pet in like the background, but if you look closely into it, it's just like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my god.
And you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
To be fair, one thing I did plan on doing is, so I have as you guys know, I have a huge amount of Pokemon plushes.
Mm-hmm.
I have not the one that you all, not the one you all have seen. I have a very small Torchic plush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not the one that you all probably know that I have. It's smaller than that one.
like really tiny, like
Like
back,
3-4 inches.
like you clip it to the back of your backpack size.
Maybe a tiny bit bigger than that, but like still reasonably small.
Yeah.
Small enough that I think I'm gonna have it on my t-shirt stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll be like my one Pokemon.
What are you gonna do when your kids start making fun of you having such an ass Pokemon on your?
First, having an ass Pokemon?
Yeah, for terrible Pokemon, they start roasting your Pokemon opinions.
Dude, I'll start giving them detention, obviously.
Dude, imagine a class, a kid raises their hand and they're like, "Mr. Stalker," and you're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You know, Torchic is mid, right?"
Dude! Dude, depending on the situation, I could see me responding in like several different ways.
One of them's punching the kid in the face.
Absolutely not.
They're like, "Yeah," they're like,
No, the real question would be, are you supposed to be doing work right now? If you're supposed to be doing work right now, or the class is like trying to stay focused on something, I'm gonna be like, dude, now's not the time, get back to work. If they're like, have free time or whatever, it's like the end of the day, they're like about to go home. Like, last minute, they say that, I'm gonna look at them and be like, yeah? And what do you think is a good Pokemon? Then I'm gonna go ahead, go home, look up every single thing, and come back with ammunition and roast the shit out of them.
I really like Wooper. Which Wooper? What do you mean? There's more than what? There's more than one Wooper.
Dude, my favorite thing is gonna be when, and it's gonna happen, I bet. I already had it happen as a substitute teacher where I'll mention I like Pokemon. And the kids are like, oh yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. And like, I know infinitely more. So I'm gonna wait for someone to be like, oh, you don't know as much Pokemon as I do. And I'm gonna be like, no shot, I know.
Yeah, I've seen the. I
literally look at the kids and I'm like, I've been playing Pokemon longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen the thing where it's like a little kid and their parent, right? Mm-hmm. And they and the kid's like, "Oh, I got all these legendary Pokemon. I'm definitely gonna win this battle. You don't even have a legendary Pokemon." And then like
showdown,
or not even showdown. It might just even be in the games.
Okay.
But it's like, and then the parent, you don't even have a legendary Pokemon, and the parent is like, all right, yeah, run it, yeah, let's run this shit. And then like it cuts to the kid crying.
Dude, you know what the funniest instance of that happening was for me? It wasn't in Pokemon, and I think I've told this story before. I don't know if it was on podcast or not. I was on a cruise when I was like 15 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not a big cruise person. I'm really not. I get bored on a cruise like by day 2. But so there was a thing that they had on the cruise that was what they called the teen room. And it is about as lame as it sounds. Okay?
Yeah.
But the one kind of nice thing that they had was they had a Wii. Not a lot of games, but they had a Wii.
And this is about around the time the Wii is pretty big? No.
This is like probably like this is probably 4 or 5 years after.
How old did you say you were?
I was probably 15. So
okay.
Yeah,
Wii U might
right now.
actually come out.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were younger. I thought you said something younger. My bad.
No, I was like maybe 14, but either way, I was like high school. There was this kid, probably like 11, right? Mm-hmm. I was just screwing around on like Wii Sports or whatever. And this kid was like, oh, I'm so good at Wii Sports Baseball, I will wreck anyone who plays me in Wii Sports Baseball. And look, Wii Sports Baseball I don't really like. It's like I don't know. I prefer boxing and bowling over it. But, like, you know, it's not difficult. So I'm like, okay, I'll play you in it. I'm like, what, you know, we'll have some fun. Did you know, in Wii Sports Baseball, as well as baseball in general, if you're leading by 10 or more runs, the game just ends?
Yeah, mercy rule.
Yeah, that
Mercy
happened
rule.
in the first inning, because I wrecked him that bad.